It's Wednesday on YourView. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown as always. I have the ladies with me. Hello, Nima Akashat Sibiri. How are you?
I'm fine, and I'm very, very grateful for a 10 years journey. Today is Good Fran's 10th birthday.
Happy birthday, good
My
friend.
good friend, Nakarobana Wale Kalmasir, my Emikele, my Eseogena, my Amiele, my also Ne, my Oluda, I love you. I love you so, so much. I'm so grateful to Allah for you. Every single day, I'm grateful to Allah for you. I'm grateful for the journey that brought you to life. And I'm grateful for the entire testimony around you. I love you so much. I hope you are watching.
Good. So, any plans?
We're cooling our turkey today. So Mora had given me turkey for New Year and Christmas, and it was deep in the freezer downstairs there. And today I'm going to be cooking with my hands for my daughter. Anything special that she likes, and spend the day with her. I'm going straight home after the show.
Fantastic.
No
How you doing?
parties, nothing.
But
Maybe
it's
over-
still
Happy about
beautiful.
that. Dr. How are you?
Beautiful. Happy birthday,
I'm
good
good.
friend.
I'm
Yes,
grateful.
happy
Happy
birthday,
birthday,
good
good
friend. We
friend.
should actually
Yes.
call her and say
Happy
hello.
birthday,
You can
good
hear from
friend.
the aunties
Yes.
on your
Have you?
hear from
We've been
us.
calling her since morning. The last phone is secretary phone for today.
I need to wait.
I'm very good. Yesterday during the show, somebody sent me a message and said, no, what was the word? No insults intended. I mean,
No,
Ended.
no,
No offense.
no offense, and they said something offensive,
Insensitive.
very insensitive.
Not offensive.
It's offensive. I am trying to lose weight. Don't come and tell me you were very full. We don't need it. It's just
We
very,
know
very
already.
insensitive
Yeah,
comments.
except I'm very full. Like, I was telling you guys about a video I did with my husband. My husband was literally lecturing me. Could that buy you now? Get it big. Could that like, calm down. You're right. I'll lose weight. He was worried about my health, worried about my cholesterol, worried about
Health.
everything. Say I should take it easy. He doesn't want to carry me when I'm 70. You don't want to carry me. I'll be all right. I'll be all right. How do you, Mariam?
I'm fine. I want to call out our airlines. Why now? I had kids yesterday at the airport. Fortunately, they were able to come back home, but their flight was for 1. And then while they got to the airport, that was when they received a message saying that it had moved to 6 p.m.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, when they got to 6 p.m. they still moved it about 45 minutes after. I'm just like,
Nigerian airline.
yes, please, let's do better. Okay, we understand there are issues, but inform people on time. We don't have people. Some people even come out of town to come to Lagos, and then you have them sitting at the airport the whole
There's
day.
one
It's
airline
not
that I can
fair.
recommend to you. I'll tell you during the break. That doesn't count.
I think I've heard
Heard about that.
Yeah.
Try it there.
We'll
Maybe they don't
see.
go to that place you're going to. But
No, they go there where we're going.
Try
was
them.
normal.
They might be slightly pricey, but they never cancel. I can always tell. So me, I'm also calling somebody out today. I won't call out your name, Sha. I will try not to. If like maybe Jabo. So I have this dirty notes, very dirty notes.
Yes.
Somebody sent me. Somebody had paid me some money in cash. So I usually remove all the dirty notes. So I now gave it to my PA to take to the bank. I'll not mention your name today. They blatantly refused to change it. I thought that when you have bad notes, you can take it to the bank.
Of course.
They're supposed to change it. I mean, I thought so. So I'm going to go there myself today.
Please do.
If they still refuse,
And their name
I'll
will,
call their name tomorrow.
their name will be
Because I'm
heard.
saying though, like, it doesn't make any
It's
sense.
a standard now.
It's like about
It's
our
their
15,000
business
naira
to collect
worth of dirty
And
notes.
I
I guess
don't-
you're telling me that you cannot collect
I
it.
don't even understand. The way Nigeria works, we want
One second, but yeah.
If that note they did not collect at the bank, they'll take it at the filling station. Then
No,
they will
but
then take it
still,
to
you
the
should be
bank.
able to walk into a bank
Yeah,
and
and
change your
just
note.
change your
There has
note.
to be a place we
It's
know
not a big
to go
deal.
and change your
going
note.
there
I wonder
myself.
why you have to show your face or be connected to get basic
And
things
I hope
done.
they're watching me. I'm coming to your bank today. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we go through the front pages of the paper. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're going to start with the nation. APC PCC. Obi's backing by Obasanjo Clark weakens PDP. Tinubu deserves credit for Lagos transformation, says Sanwo-Olu. Police recover body of murdered couple's son from Ogun River. Why 23.7 trillion naira CBN loan must be restructured by Buhari. Pele buried on 9th floor of cemetery. INEC to Nigerians, be wary of fake ad hoc officials. Air Peace targets expansion to UK, India, Israel, and others. Election or your PDP crisis widens. Okay?
Let me start with the major headlines. So the APC presidential campaign council spokesperson, Festus Keyamo, was responding to the endorsement of Peter Obi, the Labour Party candidate, by our former President Obasanjo, and also Edwin, the former Minister for Information and Pan-Deaf leader, Edwin Clark. So he was saying that their endorsement of an LP candidate, instead of, since they are known to be affiliates of PDP, has further weakened the candidature of Atiku Abubakar. It was like, and then he says that if you also look at it since 2019, the APC structure has been solid, but all those who have been against the APC seem to be falling by the wayside. The spokesperson for PDP saying that it does not matter what these endorsements are, or who are giving these endorsements, it would not take away from Atiku Abubakar becoming president in 2023. They also, Mr. Edwin Clark explained why he endorsed the LP candidate. He says that the agreement was that after Buhari had run his own course, it was supposed to move, to the south, and so he did not think it was fair that Atiku Abubakar should be running for president now, and that's why he has endorsed the LP candidate.
So we like when Nigerians are making progress. I'm pretty excited to see that Air Peace, a Nigerian carrier, will be expanding to Israel, London, India, Congo, Kinshasa, Togo, and Malabo. They stated that they've increased their frequencies to other countries such as Accra, Monrovia, Freetown, Banjul, and Dakar. These routes are now going to be having more frequent routes. This is good news because it's important to know that when you have a Nigerian, we don't have our own Nigerian airline just yet, but this is a Nigerian-owned one which has been given the opportunity to expand. So those are good news for those who frequent flyers. And according to them, they've had about 55 million passengers for the past 8 years since they started. That's huge.
That's huge. INEC is warning Nigerians. So the chief press secretary to the chairman of INEC, Mr. Rotimi Oyokomi, said yesterday that there's no further recruitment on INEC for INEC ad hoc staff on their website. Yes, they had, issued a notice for recruitment to open, for the website to open for recruitment for ad hoc staff September 7th and close December 14th, and they followed that agreement, and that has stopped since December 14th. But they hear people saying that they are, applying for ad hoc staff on their website, and that is false. So Nigerians should be careful of being defrauded.
Okay, so I want to take the story of when the governor of Lagos State was on YourView on Monday. He mentioned that the former governor of Lagos State and current candidate for the APC, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, deserves credit for Lagos transformation when the question was posed to him about the connection between Asiwaju Tinubu and Lagos State. He said that he had been in the executive council since he got into working with the former governor then in 2002, and he's had a relationship with him for 20 years. He mentioned how the former governor of Lagos State, current candidate of APC, put together the strategy called LASEED, the Lagos State Economic Empowerment Development Strategy, or SEEDS, that Strategy Economic Development that was now morphed into, it was a 10-point agenda, and it's morphed over the years, and it is from that the blueprint for Lagos State came out from, that it was a development master plan for Lagos State, and he also came up with Enyingbeti, which has been consistent since then. In the story from The Nation, they mentioned how the governor mentioned his respect for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu as a father and as someone who is doing the right thing and someone that is proud of to be at the helms of affairs.
Moving on quickly now to The Punch. PVCs, 6.7 million uncollected in 17 states. INEC targets market. Picture here, Pelé, millions beat football Orisha. Farewell. Ogun. Murdered couple's son found tied and drowned. Reps want EFCC against selling assets to looters. ASU protests as FG withholds union dues. 22 trillion naira loan to attract additional 1.8 trillion naira interest, says Buhari. Why I declined to marry terrorist commander, says train attack victim. Railway debt servicing gulps 246 billion naira. China COVID-19 FG fears spread. 16 countries impose restrictions. Okay, which story?
Let me take the major headliners again. So the INEC is saying that 6.7 million Nigerians have yet to collect their PVCs. They said that these PVCs are locked up in INEC safes across 17 states and also the FCT. As we all remember, the PVC collection commenced December 12, that's last year, and it's supposed to run up until January this year, but January 22nd. But they're also saying that from the 6th to the 15th, collection will be moved to the ward level and thereafter to the local government level. They also gave a breakdown of different states, and the PVCs that have been collected and those that are yet to be collected. In the FCT, they said they have 604,000 uncollected PVC as of December 24th. Yeah. So it's just to say that Nigerians, to vote is to collect your PVC.
But I'm happy because it's a progress. But I remember taking the story, there were about 18 million picked at some point. So obviously people have picked. Yeah. We need more. And I hear that they also open on Saturdays and Sundays.
Yes.
Just to allow
Please, just allow it. So you have no excuse.
So the completion of your registration is to pick it up.
Simple. After church,
don't celebrate,
go there. After mosque, go there. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We've been following a story in Punch about the gruesome murder of a couple. The names are Bukola Fatinoye and Kehinde. They were killed 3 days ago. Now their son, Oreoluwa Fatinoye, was found dead in the Ogun State River. According to the reports, after these two were killed and their house was burnt, the help and the son were abducted by the perpetrators, and now the police had gone out to saying that, they heard that the boy was thrown over the river, and they were asking the fishermen to see if they will ever find the body. So yesterday morning at 7:30, they called a call from a fisherman saying that they discovered the body, and they were checking all the equipment to see. They didn't say anything about the help, but they did find
They found the boy with his
hand tied to his back.
So definitely it was drowned deliberately. It was so painful.
So the police obviously, the investigations are ongoing to find the perpetrators, and they said the suspect has been arrested over the incident so far.
The suspect?
That's what they said.
Okay, thank you.
Oyemi said that the suspect had been arrested over the incident. We don't know who that's Oyemi. That's the SP, Abimbola Oyemi, and the public public relations officer.
Okay. So the Punch did a report through the DMO, the Debt Management Office, and found out that 246.11 billion naira has been spent servicing debts on the railway finances between 2016 and 2022. And the report showed how it continued to grow, the debt servicing continued to grow. And, the report also carried the revenue generated, sadly, not near. The railway continued to lose revenue over insecurity recently, and then maybe in the beginning, lack of proper management of finances. But the story just did not encourage, borrowing to do anything, because now they've taken this loan. They're not generating enough to services, and then there are several other circumstances impeding.
And the interest on the loan is increasing.
Increasing, of course. So other circumstances impeding that. I hope that, they get it right to security, because that could, take us 10 steps backwards.
I remember the interview we had Mr. Rotimi Amechi when he was explaining that, with the railway or projects like this, it's not really like a for-profit project. It's really to help, with the lifestyle of our people. But having trains now, what to do, open up the economy and bring about better businesses, which will eventually sort of make up for that. So from the trains themselves, I don't think that they're expecting that there'll be a lot of profits to pay off for the loans.
So we have the stories of Louise Azufa, a 21-year-old undergraduate that was among the 65 that were kidnapped, still linked to the train issue in Kaduna's, the Kaduna train attack. Louise Azufa was kidnapped and she was in their custody for 6 months, 3 weeks. Like, she was there all through. And she said that she was propositioned to be married by one of the commanders, and that she told the man that the story she said Leah Sheribu flashed in her mind the fact that she didn't want to become another Leah Sheribu, a Christian who was going to be now put into captivity and married off and living a life in that space. She didn't want it, that she kept praying. She also mentioned the fact that the particular people that kidnapped her they didn't go into rape or molestation, that they said they were not into it, and that they didn't have doctors, but they were able to bring in drugs, that there were nurses and doctors in captivity who were now treating any patients. She's not aware of how ransom was settled, but she knew a few people were being released. She just gave her account of the ordeal. Of course, she wants to escape out of Nigeria if she sees the opportunity, because she still has the flashback of the terror that she experienced and all of that. But we're thankful for our own life, and our heart goes out to those that could not make it out alive, you know.
You know, I'm still asking if we're giving them the necessary mental health help that they need.
Okay, Daily Sun, anger agony as banks stick to old Naira notes. Presidential poll mock endorsements for Peter Obi. NMA to shut down hospitals in Delta over murder of doctor. My attackers came to kill me. They are beyond IPOP, says Ohakim. Buhari signs 2023 appropriation bill into law. Second Niger Bridge, Obi of Onitsha denies presidency's claim. World Bank blames rising inflation on CBN's loans to federal government. Okay, which story?
So this report clearly took a vox pop around the country of Nigerians and how they are dealing with the deadline approaching for when the old Naira notes will become no longer be legal tender, and they found out that there's scarcity. People are groaning, saying that even at ATMs, bank counter withdrawals and all of that, they're still dishing out the old Naira notes. The new Naira notes are scarce, and they also went around banks. Aside Nigerians, they went around banks, and some banks are opening up on how the notes are not necessarily available. So we're expecting that by now they should be giving us from ATM, but maybe they will shift that deadline. Because
Likely to.
As it be now,
That's a very Nigerian thing.
That's
to
very
do.
likely. Definitely, you have to shift it.
But then I was thinking maybe it has to do with the fact that they want us to use less cash, and so by the time they finally phase it out,
take cash by money.
It's really hard to get cash itself. I have the story for the Nigerian Medical Association in threatening to shut down all hospitals in Delta State. We took the story yesterday of the Dr. Uyi Ilobi, who was murdered by relatives of a patient. And there are different stories, surrounding what happened. One of the accounts is that a particular patient rushed into his hospital, which was quite in pain, and that even before any registration of that patient could take place, the doctor was already seeing to her, and then these relatives came in and shot this doctor. And so they do not have the information about that particular patient, because they said once the doctor was killed, the patient got up and went into the car that the assailants came in. And so, but they're also saying that the reason that this happened to this doctor is that a gunshot victim had been brought in, and he insisted on a police report before he could see that patient. So I think we'll wait to hear what the NMA does and what police will do, and the justice that will take place, action that will take place concerning this.
Still, son? The Vanguard, FG risk paying 1.8 trillion naira interest on 23.7 trillion naira loan, says Buhari. Clark or Tom endorsed Peter Obi. Tinubu brain behind modern Lagos, says Sanwo-Olu. How I escaped death, ex-Imo Governor Ohakim says. COVID-19 travel restrictions didn't have public health benefits, says NCDC. Second Niger Bridge, I had no altercation with OBJ, Obi of Onitsha, counters presidency. Apapa Ushudi, traffic chaos. Unending tales of pain, tears, and lamentation. Okay, which story?
Former governor of Imo State, Mr. Ikedi Ohakim. You mentioned, that he was attacked by some people had said they were IPOB, but he says that he thinks that this is he does not think that they are IPOB. That these people were professional assassins. That they were looking to kill him. He was in a bulletproof car with two of his children, a son and daughter, and his driver. And then he was being escorted by his police escort, 4 of them, 3 of them and a driver. Unfortunately, the driver and the police officers were killed in their own vehicle. He said the only thing that saved him, his daughters and his own particular driver, was because they were in a bulletproof car. He said that these people chased them for, they kept chasing them. They had shot at their tires, that luckily these tires are tires that can run even when they're deflated. And he says it took them about 20 minutes after they had sort of lost their assailants to drive back home. He says the only thing that saved them is that they were in a bulletproof car. He was so heartbroken that the lives of the police officer and the drivers were lost. But he says that he does not think it's IPOB, that these people were trained assassins to come and get him.
I want to take the story of House of Representatives warning the EFCC, who's about to auction off a few properties that were seized from Nigerians, not to sell those properties to looters. So the EFCC, the ad hoc committee on assessment and status of all recovered loot, movable, immovable assets from 2002 to 2020 by agencies of government has asked the EFCC not to sell these properties to looters. These properties include 649 forfeited vehicles across 9 states, including the FCT, 15 vessels barged in Rivers State, Lagos State, as well as Delta, 11 laptops, 144 luxury houses and lands have been seized. However, Adeogun said that they can't slow down on the sale, that the sales is very urgent now because some of these vessels have already deteriorated. Many of the properties are lost value because there's no way they could have been maintained while they were seized, and the government needs money, so they rushing to sell it, and they are going through the assessments right now before sales would start.
Right. Okay, that's all we can take. Shame on us. We didn't take Pele.
Yeah, and Pele was a hero.
Nobody has taken
No. Pele is a hero of football.
He's one of the hero, and ladies of your view don't know that.
We know. I grew up watching Pele. What?
Let's go on a break. When we come back, we move on to our hot topic of the day. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So betrayal is one thing we know about. That's one of the characters people use on others, and we sort of understand that it happens in life. But when it happens to somebody close to you, it happens to you, to somebody close to you, is a whole different another conversation. The conversation we're going to talk today is going to be referencing Empress Njamah's experience. Based on the story, I'll let Nima establish the story, but as usual, we don't like talking about people's stories because we don't have all the full picture. But the picture we'd like to focus on is the part of betrayal, the fact of where your private, intimate information you have on others is exposed because there's a fallout. These are things that have been happening a lot of times recently with relationships, siblings, and I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. But let me let Nima establish what happened with Empress, then we'll pack it for a second.
In December last year, I think 15th of December last year, Empress posted a video of a ring on her finger and said she's off the market. And everybody was glad for her because, we've been looking out for the wedding bells for her. And then later she came out and did a live and said it was a ruse that Josh Wade, her supposed fiancé, made her wear that ring, forced her to do the video and posted it on Instagram. And then she also put an alert that, you know, he's threatening to post her nude videos that he had taken of her in her own house, that she was under arrest in her house and being threatened in her own house. And sadly, I don't know the kind of meat the man get from mind. He posted the videos. He created a WhatsApp group, invited people to the group, and started posting those videos. So he blackmailed her, and clearly there's a crime around it. But I don't know.
According to the story, she was asking for $450,000. And the fact that these are... See, now let us bring the picture to a situation where you are having a relationship with an adult, two adults, and you share intimate information.
Exactly.
Private information. So I have private information about you. And then something happens, we fall out. Today's times, once we fall out, all that data I have on you, I put it on social media for the world to judge.
I start to threaten you to get money like he did. I can use them, you know, to threaten you to stay. I can use it, all sorts of things to coerce you to do things that you don't want to do. And that was what he did. And then when she didn't fall through, he threatened. He first of all posted and said, "You've not seen anything." And then he went ahead and carried out a threat, you know, and posted her nudes. And she, obviously, Nigerians called him out. Women started to stand up for her, saying, "This is blackmail."
Yeah.
Nigerian government started tagging the PRO of all the police zones, and that got the attention he needed. And I hope that he's been arrested, but I don't have that.
Would we call it, let me come to you, Mara. Would we call this immaturity? Would we call this being vindictive? Would you call what's the word we can use to describe these situations? Because some people feel justified that the world must hear, this woman hurt me, this man hurt me. I must tell, because I mean, many of you know of an experience where I fell out with a friend, and things I spoke to her in private, she sent in a message and sent it to all the ladies, sent it to everybody, grandmother, great-grandmother. And I'm thinking, we had a private conversation. And these are, so that kind of person, I pick race. Someone cannot be my friend because God forbid something happens in future. I will see it in Guardian front page.
Even worse things that are confidential.
So when people feel like, I have this information about you, what's that thing? Why would you come out and show it out? What exactly are people thinking? How do you describe it?
So there are different types of people. There are some people who do it out of immaturity. These are childlike people with childish behavior, throwing childish tantrums. But, you know, these are behaviors you hope that someone has learned by the time they're 8 or 9, you know. You don't carry it into adulthood. But this particular story, this is a vindictive person because even the way she tells the story, he approached her at a point where she was vulnerable. She had lost a friend and she was mourning. And I know people like that. I even have a friend who I'm sure, and I'm sure now when we discuss it, found herself in a relationship with someone who met her when she was quite vulnerable. And I think that there are people like that. They're just sitting down, watching out and waiting for when to, they say the devil, waiting to devour you. And that's what this man did. Because at what point are you sharing your, you know, being intimate with someone, loving the person, getting to know the person, that then you have time to take their pictures and put aside for such a time where you would use it. So it's premeditated. You had waited for the time. You know, for a lot of people in marriages, in intimate relationships, who is keeping any picture? Except, you know, you want to use it someday to embarrass the person. And for this person, his own justification of whatever high he gets is the fact that I have embarrassed you. And another thing was why it had been, it's something that people go to is they feel that it will break that person. People would hate on the person. But unfortunately for this person, he did it at the wrong time, because we now understand that the person that you put out there is the victim. You are the criminal. Yes. You're the blackmailer. And no longer with Nigerians or people are going to consume this and blame the person anymore. Right. I hope that this person is caught and jailed and made a huge example of.
Exactly.
But also, let us, I don't know how to say, be careful. How are you careful with people that you love? Because this could have been done by, you know, this is a person that you love. Yeah. And you're supposed to be your most vulnerable self with these people.
That's what I was going to come to talk about, because when we were dating, we didn't have that social media opportunity of taking pictures and sending nudes, you know. Then you are just either call the person, you text message. But today's times of dating are different. They're having video calls. Some of them are doing a lot of intimate things via videos.
Yeah.
They're recording each other. There's stuff you're doing now that we couldn't do while we were dating. And a lot of young people are in that state right now. I mean, these are still older people. I'm talking about young people are young in their 20s, mid-20s. They're dating and they're exposing themselves a lot to their significant others. Now, we're in a time where if I fall out with you, I have so much information on you that I can I can really, really get you dirty. So how do we get some kind of responsibility in this?
So I'll start by saying that young people, relationship should be about trust. You know, if I'm dating you, I must have a level of trust and love with you or for you. So it will mean some people will now start getting into relationship suspicious. But I think we're at that stage where we should be. You must, before you open up your heart or your body to someone, before you open up your heart and your body, you must be able to verify the person's character. And there are little things. Because we're so focused on the guy looks good, he can afford to take care of me, he has money, he's loving, he spoils me. But is he a kind person? Because I can be generous and not be kind. Like, I can be a very generous person. I can give you gifts, but I'm not kind. Because if a kindness will mean that I have your interest at heart, no matter how hurt I am, I would protect your interest. You have broken my heart, but I'll protect you. So I feel that many times there is a lot of immaturity, there is a lot of unkindness, and there is a lot of wickedness. And wickedness displays itself in small areas. Some people, you see the way they relate with people beneath them. You know that they will do the same to you. Yoruba proverb says that when you see the way your person you're dating treats people beneath him or treats people beneath her, or the way he relates with other people, you should know that don't feel you're special, that it will not happen to you. It will. So for young people, don't expose yourself unnecessarily until you are very sure that this person has earned your trust and you can be sure they have your interest. I would also say that because social media has nothing, even if the person does not protect you, they might want to fix their phone and the person that is fixing the phone sees things they should not see. Don't put your nudes on someone's phone for any reason.
Sometimes these news are harvested without your knowledge.
Let me even I have to go on a break because there was a time when they wanted to legislate on social media. All of us, I know, they want to gag the press, they want to gag us. But now we're seeing a lot of these things. How do we hold people like this accountable? It's social media.
This is blackmail.
No, but I'm saying
the person should be prosecuted for blackmail.
But yet the vehicle is internet. The vehicle they're using.
Media,
so it's still social media. So the point is, how do we hold this accountable? When we come back on the break, we'll talk about that. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing this matter of Empress, and as I said, we usually don't like talking about people's issues because we don't have the full picture. But the part of it that we're focusing on is the part of blackmail. So in today's times, there's lots of things called sex videos. I mean, back then, we used to hear it from, was it this celebrity that had sex with Kim Kardashian in the early days with you know, and then we had the few sex videos. But then we had Tiwa from our own in Nigeria, and you know, we hear these things far away. But then when it's getting closer where regular folks are now being blackmailed. Now, Njamah is also a celebrity. I wouldn't say she's a regular folk, but the fact that people have private sex videos or people allow somebody else to record them in their nudity, that in itself, how do you know who you can give that authority to have your nude pictures? Some people are married.
Call me old school. I don't
husband
have nobody
and
has
wife.
authority to, even if you're my husband.
That's if you're dating, but husbands and wives sometimes have these videos within themselves. 5 years down the line, they fall out. Husband is blackmailing or wife is blackmailing something.
End of story.
I was
Don't try it.
once and my husband took a picture and he was admiring and saying, I said, if you don't delete that video, that picture right now, you will fall. That's my
But
husband.
you can't define people's fantasies.
No,
you can't,
that's
you
my
cannot,
husband.
you can't
See,
define people's fantasies for them.
See, one of the things,
You have the full view in the house. What are you picturing?
No, but there's a fantasy. I could be at work and I want to have my wife's
I get that
picture.
part.
Hang it there. I could be at work and I want to see my wife's picture. This is
See,
what it is.
Mura, that's the risk. We play too much. Okay, let's assume he took a picture and then he wants to keep it. Then he keeps his phone and then somebody else sees it.
Who sees? We have this code, the code there. What is that?
Which
It's
code?
passworded.
One more password, though.
One moment you can just be careless. These things, you don't play with these things.
and-
Do you know, I came up to work once and talked about my son going on Facebook Live while I was sleeping and on the phone in my room.
Yeah.
I almost went mad. These things, I can only imagine. So I don't know how people receive this news. Whatever is exciting
Let's accept that, Nima, you're
Short
different.
lived.
Let's accept.
There's
There are
not
people,
this.
you're different. So you're different.
Exactly.
There are people who are adults who patronize different adult
That have
content.
different
They have
values.
different values and they have
don't know
different
about
exposures. And
Content
different-
has
values.
everybody has
Hey,
different
what of the
values
subject
shape who you
content?
are.
Listen, so the point is that people are different.
Yes.
And your fantasies can go as wild as you choose because you're a
Yes.
private adult. But when that happens, how do we hold you responsible?
No,
Or what you share,
that's
what
why
you don't share.
Before we went on the break, I mentioned being kind, being considerate, because sometimes you can. People can really hurt you and you feel like I need to just do something back. But then you now look at yourself and say, this is not who I am. I'm a good person. So that's good values that you have. Shape who you are long term. So that's aside. But some people do have fantasies. I have a friend, she's single, she's mature, and she sends, what do they call it, sexts.
Yes.
Yes, so she sends pictures, and I told her, I said, babe, always at least cut off your head, so they cannot say it is your body.
Yeah.
So what she does is, but she's like, he has, because she's also had a blackmail issue, and she has a tattoo, and so she was like, people know it is my tattoo. I said, but they did not see your head, thankfully. So she had the wisdom that when she was sending those pictures of herself to her boyfriend, who is in the diaspora, so obviously the only way they can enjoy themselves, quote and unquote, is virtual.
Yeah.
So she sends pictures, I want you to be thinking of me. Let me just do something naughty for him right now. So you send that picture, remove your head, blur your face. There are little things you would do because you're mature enough to know you need to protect yourself. Some people have crazy fantasies, but you would also know that in your crazy fantasy is reality. Then there's a school of thought that I've always had. I don't know where I got it from. And I'm living a life that I couldn't have even imagined as at 20 years ago. But I knew from my first relationship that I did not want to date this kind of guy, so that when I now become the president or become governor,
You
they'll
now
now say,
look
you
at-
say, this person, I've seen her naked, I've done this with her. I don't know how that came to my head, but I just feel like there's a consciousness I'm going to do something big in my life. So I don't want anybody to now be able to point, you are an important person. Everybody's on an important journey. You don't want somebody to be able to release a picture of you that will compromise the good journey you are on.
Okay, I hear that.
And
I hear that.
agree.
I'll come to you, Mariam,
Okay.
because sometimes
But-
I want us to put this in proper perspective. So let me hear your thoughts first before I say
Yes.
this.
So I hear you, well done, and that's good. And that is what everybody wants, you know. You have foresight to protect yourself and carry yourself in a certain way. Whether we like it or not, two consenting adults
Yes.
doing things that two consenting adults in a loving, intimate relationship do in the privacy of their homes is supposed to be kept private, simple
100%.
and short. Anyone that brings it out, that person is disrespectful, that person is a wicked person, that person is a criminal, simple and short. We say to people, oh, don't put your nudes out there, don't do whatever. Good, that's good advice. But many people that find themselves in this situation, and not just people just randomly throwing themselves out, these are, why is it a betrayal? Because these are trusted people.
Yeah.
That's what happens. A trusted person. At what point are you supposed to be sitting with your most trusted person and thinking, this person is about to scam me, this person is about to defraud me,
Vulnerable with
my
them.
husband is about to put all our nudes out.
Yeah.
At what point do you start thinking about that? At the point that that thought comes to you, it's too late.
Yeah.
At the point that you start suspecting your most trusted and most loved person to do such a thing to you, it's already too late.
I would not go.
So what I'm going to say is, call out the criminals.
Yeah.
I agree.
Anybody that
Exposing
takes out, anybody that exposes something that was done between two consenting adults in the privacy of their home for their own consumption, that person should be punished. Simple and short. That person is the criminal.
You shouldn't shame the subject.
We know
Shame
the
the
crime
victim.
clearly. We know
Crime
when
is
it is a crime. It's clear. But we can be careless. The person can truly, truly love you. And the phone gets out of his hand, gets in the wrong hand. How about
things
protecting
slip.
yourself against such things?
Yes, that's where we
I
started
know
from.
the crime. We will deal with it. The blackmail, the police are on it. When my son did that video, he was playing. He didn't even know. He thought it was on a camera. When I take a picture of you, he didn't know. Somebody sent me, take it down, take it down, take it down 3 times. I didn't even know what they were talking
But
about.
also that makes sense because you were
So-
sleeping. What could you have done to protect yourself?
Hey, wait. now.
Sleeping.
So
By
I
sleeping.
mean carefulness. Now I know better to have my phones open with my children.
Carefulness is one
I'm
thing.
saying
There are some people that like
we are seeing these things every day, and some Nigerians are still sitting down saying,
Nima,
what could I do?
carefulness, you are absolutely right. But there's something called, have you ever heard of the word fantasy? So somebody who
don't
likes to be
understand.
tied. Listen, somebody likes to be tied.
Yeah.
Somebody likes to be whipped.
And it's
These
legal.
are adult things that
And it's
people
legal.
do and choose. So you might not understand it, but others do. Others say, you know what, but is that betrayal of trust? The fact that we have become so irresponsible and feel that because I have the power of this social media, and I'm upset
And I
with
know
you,
you'll be
I can throw it
embarrassed.
out and I throw it
Or
out.
I know you'll be
So
embarrassed.
we must
But there's
begin to
also
call
the
them
thing
out
that
more.
Bad publicity is killing publicity. The person might do it knowing it's bad and say, okay, let me just gain the numbers first.
And
that's how some people start their
Now,
blogs.
those are people that
See, this regulation of
Shameless.
social media is extremely important. Put your name, house address, your
Yes,
grandmother's surname
if you have
on
the
whatever
chest.
blog you have. Let me know when I see my picture on your blog to know how to cut off the head of your ancestors as well.
So I think
kind
that
of
is
rubbish
also
is that?
it's also important to note that for many people that are fallen victims of blackmail, they've had to pay to protect their name. You know, many people have paid to protect their own
And done worse
interests.
things.
And
be coerced to do worse
And some
things.
people, like the way Tiwa said, that Tiwa didn't want to pay for whatever reason, and she said, I'll post it. She came out and announced it. So it's a case of when you now do that, we don't see the criminal, we don't see it going to court often. We don't see somebody being tried for blackmail.
Yeah.
And we need to start making those examples. And
Yes.
it's because some people just feel like, let's just let it go. Let it go. We need
Somehow
to see more.
we don't put
Because
it out
we-
there.
our-
Let me
the reason why, because we
Let me take this call.
concentrate too much on shaming the victim. We're not
Than,
concentrating on the
crime.
Criminal
Let me
gets-
take this call from Oyin. Then I think YK has a message, and I think somebody should read it. Oyin, are you there? You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yes, good morning. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
I'd like to say something about this. I understand the fact that we are adults and we can do whatever we want to do in our rooms and everything. Not to talk about anything for the person. But the truth is, we're supposed to understand that people can change. You might be saying, okay, somebody
People
said,
really change.
if you are kind, if you are good, we can't predict what the person is.
Kindness too can
It's
be
trying to
unkind.
be vindictive. We keep saying, okay, we are good. When I was good, when I was young, I was not like this and all of that. But even right now, I know some students that I lecture in school, they would not video anybody. They would not allow themselves to be videoed. You can't predict what a person will do to you.
Exactly.
We're supposed to be accountable to ourselves, our lives. Okay, what's the point of the videoing that you're videoing? You have eyes, so you have eye in your head, so crying out loud. I cannot think of what somebody can do to me. Even my husband. I have students that today, I lecture them and all of that. They would not, even when they're in law, because they are responsible. You train yourself and retrain yourself. They taught us more when we were young. We grew up to understand that this is not allowed. I'm not supposed to do this. What was you be doing? Some parts that should not be. You are putting yourself down and everything. I'm not putting Empress on the job, but she put herself in that position. And then I'm happy that she should know. Nobody should feel like feeling bad about anything. She put herself in that.
Thank you, Oyin. And you see, I remember the video of a woman who's the guy. She was naked. If you remember, some years back, to fair-skinned lady, some guy put her nude pictures out there. She's the mother of kids, and she felt really embarrassed. I can't remember the name of the person.
Okay, one was a married woman.
One married woman like that. That one happened. Then we had somebody who wanted to blackmail Salawa Beni.
He was arrested.
He was arrested, yes. So the point is that these videos will be out there. Should we now focus more on the people who are exposing
of it, yes.
and leave these women who are naked? Because the more we talk about them, we shame them more, and it makes it look as if they are the ones
Mariah,
that
do you know
actually
what confuses me
the criminals here.
when we talk about this is, what are we shaming the victims for? For daring to have an intimate relationship at all, or for being caught?
Aha.
What are we really shaming them for?
For having a high sexual desire or
or
something.
for just having a sexual life.
Yeah.
Are we saying that do not have this, you know, that the fact that you even had this sexual life, okay, have it, you know,
Let us know about
sense
it.
of morality, yes. Is what is the problem? Is it the fact that this person should not even be having sexual relations at all?
Don't enable your abuser.
Good, because
For enabling
what
the
would
You don't know he's an
say?
abuser.
No, exactly.
No, for enabling anybody.
Good. What,
enable
so here, I'm going somewhere.
it out there.
What do I say to a wife who this was done to by a husband? What do I say to someone? No, and as we know, in our present age, not everybody ends up getting married. Some people are partners, some people are in long-term relationships. What do we say to people who did not put themselves in such a way that they were supposed to be videoed or be embarrassed or blackmailed like that, but somehow that person has found a way to do that? What do we say to our young girls finding her way and making her mistakes, and then there's someone who's just waiting to take pictures? Meanwhile,
advantage.
you know, you mentioned how when we were growing up, we didn't have social media. Yes, we remember we had some boys who would just say anything, where they used to say to girls, be careful, because there are some boys that would lie even.
Yes.
And that lie would stick. And it has evolved to what we have now, where someone would even take you when you're not participating in it. So you're not participating in that video, but the person has caught you. So what are we shaming people exactly for? Is it for being, because for me, it sounds like we're shaming people for being caught. Whatever you do, do not be caught. That's what we're saying.
Let me go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll take a few more messages and YKs on. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're taking from phone calls and messages. Let me take this from one of our viewers. She says, my partner and I sometimes take pictures. I wouldn't even regret it if it came to light. Meanwhile, I hear that these things are never entirely wiped out. A whiz kid with a phone can bring deleted messages out. So if you're ashamed, don't do it. That's somebody who is saying that she and her partner, who and her spouse and her husband, they share videos, they share pictures together.
Don't add, say, don't do it now.
Yeah, but she can do it.
She doesn't
Because
mind
she doesn't.
giving out.
So you as a person, you must be willing that if it gets out, I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed of it. Because this has happened. And if you are not ashamed, when the backlash comes, society therefore shouldn't judge you, because even you that you own the body, it doesn't faze you. Let's take a few more messages. Do you have any more?
Okay, YK says, ladies, I want to speak to the hot people that feel entitled and justified to release videos. As someone who has been seriously hurt before, I now realize the hurt goes away. Be patient. Don't do it because you will regret it. With time, hurt goes away. Time is a healer.
Let me take Olaniwaju. Good morning, Olaniwaju. Are you there?
Hello, good morning.
You're live.
Happy
Go ahead,
New
please.
Year, ladies.
Happy New Year.
Here. You know, what I will say about this is in two ways, as soon as Maria has already said. Number one, if both parties are married, the man is married, the wife is, the other lady is married, and they are having an affair. If one of them recorded it, the other one should know that there's a danger on the mountain. Why are they recording it? That is number one. And if they put it on the social media, if something fall out between two of them, and they put it on the social media, it's hard for one of the, maybe the husband or the wife to see that, oh, my wife is cheating, or my husband is cheating. You know, that helps that family to sort themselves out. Then number two, boyfriend and girlfriend, boy and girl, they are not married. They are just boyfriend and girlfriend. And if they decided to record, they should know that they are in danger of themselves. They agreed to record it and they put it. They both agree and they put it out here. Who I will blame in this? I will not blame who put it out, or I will not blame who agreed to be recorded. Two of them, they are at fault because by right they know that they are in danger of recording themselves. That's what I will say.
Okay, let me take this tweet. Metallic Hugh says, a lady from a prominent family in Benin City committed suicide last year from blackmail arising from video pictures that put her and her family in bad light, even after paying above 50 million to the blackmailer. Ekanem says, the man's phone needs to be cloned honestly. Aside her doing it for love, does she know she was being filmed? that man needs to be arrested. Who knows how many people he has done this to? He needs to be stopped immediately.
Thank you for that message, Nima, because for the sake of a woman that killed herself because of this, that's why these conversations are important.
Very important.
Because we need to let people understand that if somebody shows your nudity, it's not the end of your life. Yes, you might be embarrassed because it happened in the privacy of your home, but it shouldn't be the end of your life. It is your nudity. It's not like somebody has destroyed your life. And society must, it's not something we like. Nobody wants their nudity out there. Absolutely.
Without their
but if it does happen, it's not enough license for you to kill yourself.
And
we
people
must
will forget.
we must make it such that people must be comfortable. Because it happened to Kim Kardashian. It happened to what's the other lady in Nigeria, Tiwa Savage, and they're still alive. So I know you're not a Kim Kardashian, you're not a Tiwa Savage, certainly, but you must understand that you still have a life. People would move on.
Another story will break.
Exactly.
That's the thing. Another story would break.
There was
It's
a
not
girl
the
talk
end.
about that they showed her nudity. They beat her up. I can't remember what it was. That she was naked. They beat her from the inside. They pushed her out. I think family and friends.
See how I was struggling to
I try to
remember.
remember. I can't remember.
People will
move
forget.
on.
Even those that were there that saw it when it was happening will forget. And I think that we, YK said that time heals. The pain you're feeling right now, the pain that you're feeling, maybe you're heartbroken, or you feel like your nudity has been exposed, or your privacy has been breached, the pain will fade over time, and we must be willing to let that, give ourselves the time to heal and not jump the process or feel like our life is over. Challenges happen doesn't mean your life is over. Your heart is broken doesn't mean your life is over. Some men lash out because their heart is actually, they're really, really broken. Like, I've invested my life into this relationship. And so you feel like I must do something back that is equally going to hurt this person. The truth is your life is not over. You will fall in love again. Your relationship will move on.
And you'll be embarrassed by this.
But they are criminals. Mariah, they put that it is their business.
50 million.
They come in, it's their business to come into people's lives at a time when they feel they can. There's a plan.
steal your joy.
It's like the way we talk about banditry and kidnapping. That's the way. The way we talk about kidnapping and banditry is the way we should talk about blackmailing.
Blackmail.
Yes.
People plan how to blackmail you. They set you up. They set people up in order to blackmail them, and such criminals need to be dealt with. The same way we deal with terrorism and banditry is the same way you deal with people that set you up to blackmail you. When you have that evidence, will the police, my question is, will you be able to take evidence that somebody is blackmailing me, asking me to pay so amount of money to the police? What would they do? How can they protect you? Do we have enough police officers willing to protect people that are victims of blackmail? If we have such strong systems, blackmailing will no longer be a profitable business.
And please, when they come to you, the police, don't say, you too, why you go do this kind? That's not the time.
Let me
Honestly,
take
they
this
will
call.
say
Good morning,
that.
Addition, are you there?
They will say it.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Hello.
Hello, you're live, Additional. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, my contribution towards the discussion for today is that, first and foremost, the blackmailer are guilty. And secondly, those that have allowed that video out are also guilty as the same. But the point here to be able to curb this, first and foremost, we have to look at a way of discouraging those who do nude videos of themselves and keep it on their phone. We know that this phone is very easy. It can be stolen, and if it's stolen, somebody else can have access to it. And those people, while doing those things, they can be able to leak it out. So, to me, I would like, if there's a means of first and foremost discourage individuals of us of taking a video nude of ourselves, either with our spouse or with our boyfriends or girlfriends. If that is stopped, nobody will be able to get hold of those things to be able to blackmail anybody.
Okay.
That's what I
But Mr. Adesina,
let-
should answer, what if somebody sneakishly did a video? You did not give permission. You were not interested. You were rubbing cream
What
on
if
your
you're
body.
interested?
No, but you were a woman. The only video I've seen of Empress Njamah, she was washing her body.
Yeah, that's one.
She was taking her
I'm
bath.
just-
So what if somebody did a video like that?
That is one.
And
You're
you did
right.
not give
But
consent.
there's one where your husband is in London and you are here and you are sex videoing, there's sex videoing. It happens. Let us not pretend.
Yeah,
It's happening.
Exactly. And I also wanted to say
Well, one second, let me hear that now. Come to the wrap up.
for those consuming this
Content.
yes, this content abroad, and I think maybe we have it here. If they find some content on your phone, you are in trouble. They lock you up as if you were the person that took the video. Simple. So there was a particular video some years back that was going around, and I think a lot of people had downloaded, and this person said that he got to the airport and his visa was taken away because he had that content, because it was a WhatsApp message that was sent over and over. Don't even consume it. If there's no market to consume it, nobody will think that they should put it on social media for you to take it. I make it a personal decision. I never watch anybody's news, anybody's videos. So if there are more people like me, your market will end. So don't consume it, or else you get in trouble.
Right. Also, if you have somebody blackmailing you with a video of yours in any way, open up about it. Don't enable them. Don't pay them. Don't talk.
Like Salawa did.
Like Salawa
And even
did, like
she did the
Empress
same thing
did.
too. Now Empress
Come out
too did.
about it. Let the authorities know. If you don't want to tell everybody in the world, don't do it. You don't need to go live. Go to the police with that evidence. This is the phone number the person is calling me with, and let them do the needful with that person. Even if the video gets out there, let that person be made a scapegoat of.
Yeah.
And I hope that there will be an amendment on our criminal code to make it maybe like a death sentence on kidnapping, so people will sit up.
We have to wrap up on this, but I mean, aside from this blackmail that we've talked about, the other crimes on social media, catfishing is another one we've not discussed here. It happens a lot abroad, where you create a fake profile to, a love profile, and used to extract money from you, or just, stuff they do. It's really popular.
With your own
Yes, I've been catfished before. so many of this has happened, but we need a proper regulation on social media.
We need it too.
When it was initially drawn up, people rejected it because we didn't understand it. But now we've experienced it, and we understand there's a need to bring up again this social media regulation and ensure that people who are victims of social media blackmail, catfishing such as this, people are actually, they can get justice. That's all we can take on this segment. When we come back, we'll bring in our guests. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. Joining us is the Chairman House Committee on Defense, Honorable Babajimi Benson. He'll be speaking on the 2023 appropriation bill that was signed into the law by President Muhammadu Buhari. He'll also be speaking on the state of security and insecurity in our country. Welcome with us, Honorable Benson. Good to have you on the show.
Good morning.
You can join the conversation on 081-270-53687, 091-390-7694. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourView TVC so we can read your tweet. All right, so I was saying that our president has finally signed the budget into law yesterday. Everybody is excited because we're still trying to review it and see all the how much has been allocated to all the various sectors. But you're in charge of the review of the defense. And I think I'm seeing here that it was about 80 billion. 80.9 billion has been allocated to the defense headquarters, 15 billion earmarked for personnel costs, 2.1 billion for overhead, and 3.1 billion for capital expenditure. The point is, do you think we have enough to combat the insecurity we have in our country at this time?
Yes, firstly, good morning, viewers, and good morning to all this female cast.
Thank you.
It's so rare to see such things, so I must commend the owners of this station for having an all-female cast.
Yes.
If it was an all-male cast, the female will be up in arms. but we're not complaining. And I send you goodwill from my mom as well. She knows all of you by name.
Regards to her.
She told me Miss Kuti won't be around today, so yes, thank you very much about the question. As you're aware, the 2023 budget was signed yesterday. It was about 21 trillion. 13% of it was earmarked for the defense sector, which came to about 2.74 trillion naira. Yeah, the money is defense. You must continue to spend and spend, because show me a prosperous nation, you would see that the insurgency and the security in that country is very, very high. I mean, the security is high. So the budget, though huge in naira terms, converting it to dollar terms makes it a bit insignificant. You must also be aware that personnel costs and all those other things. The Armed Forces is one of the agencies you have in the world that takes care of you from when you join to when you die. There's nothing you buy that you buy from your pocket. Even your burial is taken over by the Nigerian armed forces. So, Mr. President, in his kind wisdom, signed what you call the MAFA, which is an enhancement of the welfare of men in service. You know, so these are our brothers, our sisters who put their lives down in the line to make us secure. We're here today because Nigeria is secure, safe, sound. You know, so no matter what we do, we must put them first. Yeah. The notion whereby Nigerians say Nigeria is at war. It's not Nigeria that is at war. It is all of us that is at war. You understand? So government has tried to enhance the budgets. It's good, but it can be better. So on your question about whether this amount will be enough, never enough. It is never. Security is something that you must be able to purchase intelligence and stuff like that. You know.
I guess a few more questions for you.
Yeah. So my question, very similar to Mariah's, which is you know you said when the budget sounds huge in naira, but then in dollars it's not so big. And then I want to say, in reality, in real terms, in equipment, in training,
capital,
yes, how much more would you like to see? What would be like a dream defense sector for you? How much would need to go to that sector to make a difference?
Thank you. Very good question. A good sum. My whole idea is to yank off capital or defense purchases from the budget because the budget can't carry it. You know, you need to buy fleets, you need to buy planes, you need to buy ammunition that are not readily produced in any country. You have to place orders. This budget style we use is the envelope system, which means it can't carry as much as it should carry. The budgets of some African countries when it comes to defense spending is way bigger than ours. You know, if you also look at how they equip them, they call it table of equipment, TOE. We're ramping up, but we can do a lot better. But doing a lot better means you need to spend a lot more. The Tucano we recently bought were purchased with millions and millions of dollars. You know, if you convert it to naira, you know, it's almost as the equivalent of the current capital budget. So we are still punching beyond our weights. The budget is increasing. And you can also see that the money has shown because there is less insurgency, there's less insecurity. And the Christmas period was a great example of how safe the country has become.
Okay. Honestly, some people don't agree with that summation because we just had the governor's attack where a lot of security personnel, 4 officially lost their lives, and the police, the governor himself said that it wasn't safe. The former governor, wasn't safe based on his security personnel, but more on the fact that he has a bulletproof vehicle, you know. So the insecurity overall might seem like we're not seeing a lot of attacks, but we're still having major ones when they happen. The inflation part of the economy and how it's affecting our budget, because the fact that the naira is devaluing, for people like me in business, we can easily say the devaluation of the naira or the fact that naira against dollar is going bad. But from the perspective of the budget, you've hinted at the impact of how the increase might have happened in naira, but in dollar there's really no difference. You know, like the exchange rate has taken out whatever increase we have added in terms of naira. How can we achieve better security without necessarily focusing on capital expenditure on assets and focusing more on intelligence gathering. That way we reduce the crime than having to combat the fight. Going into combat.
A very good question. I share your views, and I always say that you do not use security to kill poverty. Yes, poverty it's with us. And as you know, we live in I call it VUCA environment now. It's volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. The world over, there's one crisis or the other. There's climate change issues, which has exacerbated unemployment and the efficacy or the power of the government to impact people, So that has caused a sort of disconnect and has put a lot of people in poverty. These are things a bit outside the government sphere. So I agree with you, intelligence gathering. How do you gather intelligence? You gather intelligence from citizens who are happy, yes, and who the government has satisfied and trust the system. They voluntarily provide actionable intelligence for the law enforcement agencies to act.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. We're trying to, the scales are being uplifted a bit. I'll give you an example. The Southeast, for instance, had the second Niger bridge opened for them.
Yeah.
Definitely the knock-on effect is that the citizens in that area will be more government-friendly, government-centric, and will be able to provide actionable intelligence. So the role is also for government to get their citizens satisfied so that the corresponding...
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I've heard Senator Alundume in the past talk about defense, and it seems like the monies are not being utilized adequately. As Chairman House Committee on Defense, how did the past budget on defense perform? How did how did the committee,
Yes, so I think that there's always a misconception about defense purchases. Most of these purchases are done on a government-to-government basis, right? Some are delayed due to international conspiracies and stuff like that. The system is not 100%, but I would say that we've been able to have effective checks and balances, oversight in appropriation and inspecting as and when due. So on that. So there's also a bill that I sponsored with the concurrence of my members. It's called the Armed Forces Support Fund. It is only in Nigeria and a few other countries where you have purchases for hardware and software on the budgets. So we're looking at areas or nimble ways whereby the critical assets can be funded outside of the budgets. We're looking at funding the defense sector the way Abuja is funded. There's a 1%. So because defense security is critical to our lives. If a secure country, I can tell you, the GDP, unemployment, and everything would be well taken care of if there's security. So we're passionate.
I'd like to do a follow-up with that. There are two questions or two. You talked about possible international conspiracies. Now, that's heavy because that's probably suggesting that we have international community, some part of the international community might be against the protracted war against insurgency coming to a halt. So that's suggestive. I'm not sure if you can clarify on that. And secondly, my also follow up on that is that we find that government a lot of times don't follow through. So yes, you're giving them the money, you understand that they try to get some capital, they're trying to pay off salaries, but sometimes these guys on the field don't get the adequate support, ammunition, welfare from the budget that has been passed. So in your own oversight functions, how close have you been to the guys on the ground to be sure that the money that you've approved for them gets to them?
Oh, yes. We're always on top of that, right? Because they do send us petitions that we work on. Some genuine, some we find, oh, it's an a soldier who was absconded and just trying to find succor using us to. Some maybe a bit correct, but largely, I think that 80% of the funding that are required to get to those guys, boots on the ground, get to them. Because the repercussion of not doing so, it's so glaring, you know. So I know that most of them get those fundings. And we do have legislation. So we're working on legislation that would ensure that these trainings, effectiveness of those men on the boots on the ground are top notch.
Okay.
So my next question, I hope it's not too far-fetched, and I'm thinking, as you say, we need more money, and then we look at other countries and how far they have come. I know we would like to call America and those countries, and I'm wondering, will we ever get there where we are manufacturing, you know, some of these things ourselves for our own military and able to also export to the world?
Fantastic question as well. So we have what you call the DICON, which is supposed to be a manufacturing company for hardware and software. We're trying to expand the scope of it. There's a bill before the House, which is trying to export it. We've been involved in the Boko Haram insurgency war for quite a while now, right? So we must have lessons learned. We must have products, both hardware and software, that we can show for it. We already have what you call the Ezugu. It's an MRAP, you know, which is locally manufactured, which was done by DICON. There's a bill before the House, sponsored by my good self as well. It's called the DRDB, Defense Research Development Bureau. You understand? It's with the Senate it's sent to the President for signing. So we're also ensuring that local content, we try to also ensure that the Executive Order 5, which says that if you're going to buy hardware or software, you must first purchase one from Nigeria. If you don't have, you can go overboard. So DICON produces bullets, bulletproof vests, and there's also Pro Force.
That's a private company, Nigerian private company.
Exactly. That the Nigerian Army has some shares in as well. So we're actually doing well, right? But it's a matter of upscaling what we're doing at the moment to be able to export more to other countries. Yeah.
So let's counting down towards the elections, and the House of Assembly, everybody is seeking re-election one way or the other. I wanted to get your opinion on how well you would feel like the 10th Assembly has fared, and what are your expectations towards the election? What would be your major achievement?
Are you running again?
Yes.
It's the 9th Assembly. Ninth Assembly has done way under the leadership of Mr. Femi Gbajabiamila. It's done exceedingly well. I think it's the best amongst the assemblies we've had. We've passed very remarkable bills. The BVAS, the INEC law, is one of the things. The petroleum industry bill. We've supported the female. We're also very gender sensitive.
Oh, the one that fell
Don't
through?
start that, Oga.
Yes, we are.
The one that fell through?
He agreed to review.
Yes.
Yes,
But
yes.
we are yet
until you
to have
review-
The tenure has not ended.
Okay.
It's part of the thing we're going to put on the
So
front
list it, but don't list that one because it hasn't been passed. It has to
No.
fight
I'm
it.
saying we're
What
building
you're
blocks.
working
It's not, no, we're working. We're
Don't
working
list it
on.
to your credit, Oga.
We're
Just
working.
leave that one. Just put it doesn't enter your credit. But go ahead.
Okay, so we've done remarkable with a lot of bills. On the security sector, we have over 50
Okay.
bills, over 50 interventions that we've made. You know, so we're still.
Are you running for office again?
Yes, I'm running by the good people of Ikorodu
Why should
Federal
I vote for
Constituency.
you? Why should the Ikorodu people vote for you again?
Yes, I'm not the best, right? But Ikorodu has about 3-4 million people, but they've chosen me as their representative at this moment. I'm extremely grateful for them. And in those years, I've been able to do some things that I believe has impacted them. We've been able to move Ikorodu-centric, Lagos-centric builds and motions.
Like, which ones? People want to know exactly specifics. We don't like those general
So
politicians talk.
I passed the bill
Yeah.
about passing the bill for power, railway, removing it from the exclusive legislative list.
Okay.
I'm doing the Armed Forces Support Fund.
Yes, you said that.
I'm doing the DRDB, that is Defense Research Development Bureau. I'm expanding the scope of the Defense DICON. Yes.
What have you done for people in Ikorodu?
What have I done
What
for...
constituency project did you do?
Okay, I built 32 roads in
Okay.
Ikorodu, and ongoing. I'm still going to announce more roads coming. I have facilitated the construction of Ikorodu Shagamu Road. My senator has also been involved in that. He's given us great support after coming on board.
Are lawmakers allowed to build roads? I don't know. I get confused.
Yeah, my job is to
Say I
represent.
built roads. You just said it. And I don't
No, facilitated, yes, yeah, through our humble efforts.
So you have your name on those projects, like facilitated by Honorable.
Okay, yeah, I still do so because some people come to you and say, as a politician, if you don't blow your trumpets, if you don't say you've done this, yes, the people will think
The
you've
Honorable
done that.
representing Ahmad is in trouble after you leave here because we don't even see the work, talk less of December.
So I can go on and on. So 32 roads,
Yes, facilitated.
24 schools, that equals about 1,000, over 1,000
24 schools.
classrooms. Yeah,
In Ikorodu?
facilitated, yes.
How many schools
Were they
does Ikorodu have?
were it remodeled or
No, from scratch, built from scratch.
Wow.
Yes,
Federal
blocks of
government.
classrooms, yeah, federal government.
Classrooms or schools? There are
classrooms?
different
Schools, so that equals over 1,000 classrooms.
24 schools.
Yes.
I have to verify that one.
Yeah, please do.
Ikwe.
Yeah, please do.
From federal government.
Yes, please do.
Okay, we'll
I said
find out.
32 roads as well.
Yes.
Yes.
Can find out that one.
find
Too.
out.
You can fact check that. So I've done, so right now
Go and bring your
we're building 80-bed hospital in Imota. We built about 4 other mini hospitals around the city. We've been able to employ a lot of youths, both in the armed forces, the civil service, and the federal
So you facilitate
agencies.
how youths from your constituency gets the job?
Oh, yes, of course. That's my job.
Honorable.
Yes.
Nima,
Okay,
go and bring
so
your,
I think
write
a
a
lot
letter
of
to your
the
honorable and bring them on the show. This one-
Yeah, you'll be shocked. They will also list their
No,
shots.
she knows my
Unfortunately
address.
for her, her honorable is PDP.
Oh,
Because I'm
yeah.
more of thing.
Yes.
Yeah, but we're bringing
So
somebody
is that why
from...
he's not getting the projects?
No. It's not. That's not why he's not. You know, APC members are very dynamic. They're very focus driven, and so we're bringing somebody. It's called PLS. He's gonna come and
Campaigning
take
for your
over.
person.
As in,
No.
can
I'm
you
telling you.
imagine?
I'm telling you, somebody who's
Please,
progressive.
let's bring you back to something that I read in
Okay.
the papers. It was yesterday, and it was a major concern to me because at first I felt the headline was misleading, but when I read, it was because they said the budgets for constitutional amendment, and you just mentioned it, that is a failed constitutional amendment because we've been budgeting for it almost 1 billion every year in this our ninth assembly, and
bless
they've
you,
not
my
been able
sister.
to be able to drive it till the end. So is there still hope? Why are we still putting 850 million naira to constitutional amendment
Okay.
2023?
Very good question. What's our job? Our job is to make laws.
Yes.
Yes. We made the laws.
Okay.
We've passed those laws to the
House
state
of-
assemblies.
yes.
Yes. They have not responded to us in record time.
Yes.
If they don't respond to us, the laws can be passed. So we've done our bits.
Yeah.
They need to respond and say this. Yes, one of the things we put was local government autonomy. Everything you wanted,
Yes. It's in
we
there.
passed it. Yes, I even moved the motion. I forgot to tell you a bill to increase the educational qualifications of our office holders. I did it. You understand? But those things.
But Lagos is one of the states that have refused to pass. Most of them, so I think about 18
Yes.
have passed it so far out of the
Yes.
36. We're still
Yes.
we're looking for a third. But
Yes.
Lagos is one of the states that have not passed it.
Yes, you see, that's the beauty of democracy. Yes, so that's the state assembly that represents each and every nooks and cranny in the states. Maybe the citizens there said, no, we don't want it. I don't know. But I can't question that. You know, if the state comes and says, oh, this is not in our best interest, that is our best interest, I don't know what the parameters are. But to say that we haven't done anything, we've done everything. We've even done it in record time. So
Okay.
please put pressure.
Your House of Assembly members.
Yes, you guys. So it's not me.
Somebody from your constituency, Yusuf Bello, says that Honorable Jimmy Benson is Olu Omo of Ikorodu, an amplifier, humble, respectful, all projects verified and delivered.
Wow.
Nice.
From
Thank
your
God.
constituency.
Okay.
No, me too, I'll be able to say that about my own honorable Benson.
No, you won't be able to say. You will be able to say that after the new guy comes in.
No,
PLS.
I'm sure the current one would have
He will
something to
respond
say
to me now.
about
He
what
will
Let's talk
From
about the
PDP.
gender. We don't have too much to say. Let's talk about the gender bill. Let me ask you a question, because sometimes I think I even asked you this the last time you came here. We understand the House is full of people from diverse states, diverse cultures, tongues, and belief systems, and backgrounds, and even exposures. So we understand most of the reps from the Southwest were able to pass. Some maybe didn't. We had a few also from the Southeast also able to pass these gender bills. But we had quite a few of your counterparts from other parts of the country that were unable. What are you doing to lobby, to talk to them, to get them to also understand the need to pass these bills? Are you also being able to meet them halfway? Because I've heard a few of those lawmakers, and they have their own legitimate concerns of why these gender bills should not be passed the way it is. It needs to be reviewed. What are you doing? What has been done so far to make all parties meet somewhere, at least have a consensus or a compromise?
Okay, fantastic. You know, our lives are deep-rooted in religion, culture, yes? And those are things that are really, really, really enshrined in some people, right? So we need to decouple them. We need to unlearn some culture and some religion. So one of my proposals is there are ulamas from other jurisdictions that allow these things happen. Yeah, we need to bring those guys to come and address a wide spectrum of people who don't believe such things should happen. You know, if they come from diverse areas and they will begin to see that, okay, wait a minute, Saudi Arabia, that it's the bastion of this. This is what they're doing now. This is how they're reasoning now. So we need to communicate. I agree with you. We need to inform. We need to unlearn some things. We need to learn some things. So the lobbying is ongoing, and I see some shifts in their stance. Yeah, which is why I'm saying it's ongoing, and in the fullness of time,
But
you guys will be
If
happy.
I can denote what you just said, it seems it's one side and one religion that is rejecting the bill.
Not one
the
side.
floor of the house.
So
You-
I'm
you
saying
know,
that.
ulamas are
No, I just
scholars.
said ulamas. I just
And
said
so
ulamas,
they're
and
scholars
otherwise,
in Islam, and means
yes.
Islamic views do not support the bill.
No. Like she rightly said, that majority of the kickbacks are coming from a particular side of the country.
Are you
Yes.
saying that side?
Pardon?
Are you saying that side?
No, a particular side. And even from the southwest, you have some people who also see the objectives, who share the same sentiments as those. So we would all be in that room whereby they talk to us and they show us hadiths or verses that will
That's what I was saying,
make
that
us unlearn.
there are legitimate angles from everybody's perspective.
exactly.
There's got to be a
Exactly.
compromise.
Exactly.
Well, because we have very little time, I need to talk about the 2023 elections coming up.
Yes.
Anyone ask about that?
No, I thought we already started when you said
No,
he's
so
running
we're
again,
talking
but-
about, so you know your principal is also running.
Yes.
I won't say your principal, actually, but everybody always, I mean,
Wait, the party?
the party's principal, the flag bearer is running, and a lot of people always try to, we always use an opportunity to hear from everybody from the various parties who come in, and we invited some other people from other parties talk about themselves and then their flag bearer. So what do you have to say about your flag bearer running for office?
Now I have three principals. I have
The flag
my
bearer.
speaker
Okay.
is running.
Oh, that's
Is
true.
of the most innovative parliament in the history of Nigeria. Is
Okay,
running.
the ninth or something.
Fantastic guy who has added so much value to the Nigerian legislative space. We have the governor who's running, very dynamic. I'm so happy because I asked for some statistics. They told me that Lagosians are being ferried, Ikorodu are being ferried on a daily basis. 8,000 people use the ferry because he is coming to clear all the wrecks. So if you say 8,000 in 20 days, That's about 160 people fly from Ikorodu to other parts of. That's a huge achievement because of his intervention in the waterways. 250,000 use the BRT from Ikorodu on a monthly basis, right? Because of that. And because of the fact that major commissioning that are going to happen in the next couple of days
Like the 4th Mainland
are Ikorodu-centric. Rice mill, the 4th Mainland Bridge, and guess what again? And those two key commissioning, earth-shaking commissioning, are handled by two Ikorodu people as well.
Okay.
The Commissioner for Agric, the Commissioner for Transport. So in a few years' time, or in a few months' time,
Do open up.
not just Ikorodu, Lagos, jobs, jobs, jobs. You build a 4th Mainland Bridge, you commission a deep sea port, you commission a rice mill. Who's going to enjoy it?
Lagos.
The widows, children, everybody will be unemployed. Will be employed, sorry, will be gainfully employed.
It's the biggest in sub-Saharan Africa.
Exactly. So let me now transmit that to our national leader. Yes, one judgment call that he made was the choice of his successor. That successor is the one that built, we commissioned the 2nd Niger Bridge. The Southeasterners could go home with ease doing that.
He went on with
Yes, he birthed Fashola, who is also helping us complete our Ikorodu-Shagamu road, right? The governor, in 8 years' time, by the time he completes his 2nd term, yes, he will be one for the Hall of Fame because he's doing great things. I didn't even add the red line, the blue line.
Yes, the blue line first. The red line is yet.
But although I'm not happy, red line, blue line, no one
is going to your side yet.
Exactly, yet.
Yes.
So I'm on TV now. Mr. Governor,
Instead of the yellow line, there'll be red line. So the colors.
Ikorodu. And you can't joke with Ikorodu. It's the 3rd largest city in the southwest. And I told you about the 4th Mainland Bridge. I told you about the rice mill, and a lot more. You understand?
We have just a minute left.
So vote Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. She said I should speak about it.
Yes,
so
please go ahead.
Somebody who has, judgment call. He'll be able to showcase what Lagos can offer. So imagine if you gave him Nigeria. You understand? So I rest my case.
Okay, thanks for resting your case. So I think that's all we can take. And if any comments on social media for our guests before we wrap up?
Okay.
No.
Except for this person that just sending me comments from your constituency that will not let me rest.
Please verify if you're in the Ikorodu, verify what the honorable is
people
saying.
have solar powered street lights because of you. So
See, I thought I was in Ikorodu the other day. I have to go back
I've
there.
seen that.
So
I
it's just
noticed
lights.
the road from, because I do really say, so Shagamu to Ikorodu road, but they've not finished it.
No, it's ongoing. I'm on
they've
it.
not finished, and the road
The
is
senator is on it as well.
Twitter. Can I take?
No, Ikorodu, again, what you people don't
Then
know.
expect Ikorodu
Please,
to
we
has
have
not
few
been
seconds.
done.
Nobody has that Twitter, the social media reach and power
Like
Ikorodu. I'm in 300 groups.
Ikorodians.
Have you heard of that?
Okay, let me.
300 WhatsApp groups.
Eh?
Yeah.
And then the
Lorenzo
road,
says-
there's a road between Ekpe to Ikorodu.
It's all road. That's
You don't have
the
time.
road has not
Oh,
been
Nima,
budget.
any comments
It's
on
not-
social
Somebody's
media?
allowing me to take its name.
Read comments. I'm just mentioning the areas that concern me.
Mayor of Ikorodu says anybody contesting against Babajimi Benson is wasting time and energy. He's the governor of Ikorodu at large.
Governor General of Ikorodu.
Lorenzo says Babajimi Benson, your Ikorodu people are really commending. You keep the good job going.
Okay.
Plenty like that. Let's just.
Okay, I think that is
Like, I'm
all
blowing
we
your
can
trumpet
take
too.
on the show. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us. We wish you the best in the coming elections.
Thank you very much.
Listen, we're here. It's election season. We're ready to talk to anybody and everybody. Let us hear your thoughts for Nigerians. And no matter how you talk outside, if you don't talk on your view, you're supposed to Nigerians.
I have not. What are you saying?
Yeah, my mom agrees with that.
Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.
Thank you.